Maybe you're a complete psycho like me and you're researching accessories for a camera that you don't even own yet. Maybe you just got the tracking number and you're hyping yourself up, thinking, what could I put on this camera to make it even better and protect the camera and make my shooting experience more enjoyable? If that's you, you're in the right place, because I've got a list of day one accessories that I like to put on my X100 series cameras that do all of those things. So without any further ado, let's get into the video. So arguably the most important thing is protecting the lens and the sensor, and you can do that by using a clear filter. So I've got a filter here. Let me take this hood off so you guys can see it better. I've got a filter from B&W, which is definitely not the cheapest option, but in my opinion, if you're spending this kind of money on a camera, I like to use some really nice glass to make sure it's crystal clear. And I'm sure the jury is still out on if a cheaper one or a more expensive one actually makes a difference, but I'll leave that for you to decide. This is just what I'm using. So you can find stuff from Hoya and Tiffin that'll be a lot less money than the B&W, but this is what I like. However, I will say one non-negotiable when you're looking for a filter is to make sure that the threads are brass. If they're not brass and you over tighten your filter, it can get stuck on your camera and then you're gonna have a bad time. Ask me how I know. Yeah, it's not good. Make sure you get brass threads. One of the things that is a little frustrating to me is that Fuji doesn't include this, which is their filter ring adapter. If they just threw that in the box, then you'd be able to just slap a filter on there, call it a day, keep it moving, but they make you buy this separately. It's not cheap. I forget exactly how much it was because I bought this a while ago, but yeah, you can get this if you don't want to get a lens hood, and this will keep a low profile. It is the Fujifilm filter ring adapter. I'll have the link in the description below, along with everything else in this video. So take a look down there. But yeah, this is the more minimal way to weather seal your camera. Perhaps you want to go the lens hood route. So I really like this lens hood. It's got that really cool old school vibe to it. And this is from a brand called Hogue or Hoagie. Who knows how it's really pronounced? I don't know. But they let you pop this adapter ring right on the front of the camera, and then you can screw your filter onto the front of that. And then all you've got to do is screw this on the front, and since you see that red or orange or whatever color O-ring, you can get it lined up nice and neat there. And it does make the camera stick out like another inch or so, but it will block unwanted lens flare, and it does look really cool, and it will get you at least like 13 more internet points. So it's worth considering. I really like it. I think it's cool. I kind of rocked it with just the filter ring adapter and no lens hood for a really long time, but I'm trying something different now, and I've really been happy with it. So your mileage may vary, as they say, but I really like it. So a minimal design comes with minimal places to put your fingers. So basically, you've got a very small grip on the front, which, I would have liked to see them go a little bit more. This one actually is bigger than the V, but not by much. But it definitely, you can feel that it's an improvement. But there's still not a lot of places for your thumb to go on the back of this camera. So that's where a lovely little thumb rest comes into play. So this one is from LensMate. This is the one that I prefer. I think this one is really well made. This is actually from my X100V, as you can see on the little engraving there. And I like this one because it feels really durable, and I've had it for, I guess, going on 4 years now or whatever, and it's got rubber contact points anywhere that it touches your camera, which is really nice. So you just kind of install it here, it goes in nice and snug, and now you really feel like you have a great grip on this camera and you're not worried about touching these buttons. One of the things that can be frustrating about this camera is that the buttons are really sensitive. So if you press one by accident, you might mess up your settings, and then you got a little situation on your hand. So I really like this thumb rest also for that reason, besides the fact that it gives you a really secure grip on the camera. And if you're shooting with a wrist strap all day, you really feel like you're in control of this camera and you're not holding like a little piece of soap. So it definitely feels way better in my opinion. One of the other things that I like about it is it's got this hinge, which is the big selling point, I think, on this brand. So when you want to go to change your shutter speed, you can do that very easily and just pop it out of the way, and you're good to go. I tend to leave my ISO on C, so I'm using this control dial in the front for my ISO. That way I don't have to do the like awkward, how many stops? You know what I mean? It's just, it seems like a little bit goofy. So this is just easier for me, and I really like doing it that way. Next up is you're going to need a way to carry the camera, and the system that I really like to use that I've been using for many years now are Peak Design anchor links, and I really like them. They've been amazing for me over the years, and I really like the modularity about it because I can use the same strap for different cameras and just swap it out, and I don't have to have all these goofy straps all over the place. It just makes things so much easier. Another benefit is that sometimes when I use cameras like this or the Ricoh GR3, I like to use either a crossbody situation with a strap, or I like to use a wrist strap. So I can swap between, and you can just clip in and out. And you might be thinking to yourself, something looks different about these anchor links. And that is because before I made this video, I went on to check out to see if they're on Amazon, which they obviously are. And I saw that they make them in black now, which is amazing because I actually wanted to dye mine black because I am really sick of looking at the red. But I really like the black on these. It looks super cool, super sleek, and you know, I think that's the way to go. Also, I really like these aftermarket JJC little split rings with the leather taco that goes around it, because the ones that come from Fuji, let me show you here, are kind of big. I don't know, that's me being psychotic and nitpicky, but I really like the smaller amount of stuff hanging off of a small camera. Personally, that's just me. Maybe I'm nuts, but I really like it, and to me it just looks better. So that's the way to go in my humble opinion. So speaking of Peak Design straps, let's get into that real quick. So I've got two of their wrist straps here. I believe this one is discontinued, but man, I really like this design. I don't know if they felt like there wasn't enough razzle dazzle on it, but to me, that's what made it amazing. It's this simple seatbelt material, and it crumples up into like literally the size of a big cotton ball or something. It just really gets out of the way in your pocket. Like if you're pocketing this in a jacket pocket, or if it's just in a bag, like as a, maybe I'll need this one, you know, one day when I'm shooting or whatever on my trip. It's just nice to be able to crumple it up into a ball and you never even really notice it's there. So I really like this one, but what can you do? They moved on to this fancier new build, and it has this kind of like reinforced material here, which is cool. And I think the idea here, there's a magnet or a little piece of metal in there somewhere, is that it kind of does that. I don't know if that's supposed to do that. I think it is, but I don't really see the point in that. I think maybe they felt like it makes it a little more tidy, but at any rate, it's still a great camera strap. You just pop it on, it cinches down, and you're good to go. And if you drop it, that was really scary, I'm not gonna lie, but if you drop it, you're good to go. This camera is definitely too big to be in like small pockets, but if you're on some autumnal vibe, you got a little jacket on, perhaps a little top coat, you can put it in there most likely, and you can have it on your wrist ready to rock and roll. Boom, take it out, get your shot. So I really like these wrist straps. They're really well done. And like I said, I like being able to switch between the wrist strap and the neck strap, which I'm going to show you right now. So this is the Peak Design Slide Light. I believe they have a slide, which is a bigger version, which would be really good for something like, you know, a bigger camera, or if you're carrying a big lens, maybe doing some wildlife, some stuff with a telephoto lens, a big zoom lens, something like that. So I really like this one. There's also a leash, which is a little bit thinner. I want to say it's like 3/4 of the width of this, which is also probably good for this camera, and definitely good for like a Ricoh GR3 size camera. You don't even know it's there. It's kind of amazing. But I really like this one. I'm going to show you guys why. So when you look at this, you see, of course, that it's this seatbelt material, which is very slippery. So if you're wearing something like a puffer jacket, you flip it over, and you've got the rubber on this side, which stops it from sliding around, which is really nice, because if you wear this, like I wear mine on my back, when I do street stuff, I'm never like trying to get that exact second usually. Sometimes it's cool to get that, but most of the time, let me try and make this look a little better here. Most of the time I'm like, oh, I like the way the light is hitting this building. Let me swing this bad boy around, turn the camera on, it's booted up, boom, get the shot. Thank you very much. And go back to the back. And then it's not bouncing off my sternum all day, which is really annoying. So that's what I like to do. But if I'm wearing a puffer jacket, I'm going to flip this to the rubber side, and it's literally, you can see that it basically won't move at all when you're walking, which is nice because it won't bang into your elbow, or if you're walking holding hands in love, it won't bang into your significant other's arm, and they'll appreciate that. Trust me, they will let you know that it's annoying. So this camera strap is really good and I really enjoy it. So that gets my vote. One thing I forgot to mention about this strap is that it has this really cool quick adjust feature. So all you have to do is just flip that little buckle up, and you can just easily change the length, and you can bring this up higher. Like if you add a layer or take a layer off and you need it to just be in a different spot, and then it just locks in. It's really, really cool. I usually leave it in the same place, but it's really nice that you have that feature should you need it. So next up, and a really important one for me and maybe controversial for you guys, is a screen protector. So I've been using screen protectors on my like travel cameras or my fun cameras or my knockaround cameras pretty much since I learned that they existed. On my work cameras, I've literally never put a screen protector on any of them. I think the Nikon had one built in or whatever, but not on any of my Canons that I've used for the majority of my career. I think in the studio, I'm not as concerned, but when I throw this in a bag and sometimes I'm just using a beanie as a camera case, you know, it's nice to have a screen protector on there. But one of the, I guess, the more controversial things about it, maybe not so much that it's even there, is that I like the anti-glare one. You know, it's kind of interesting because when MacBooks went from the matte screen to the glossy screen, I actually thought it was great because when we were shooting commercial work, it was going to look exactly like what people would see at home or see on their phones or whatever. So I thought it was like really nice to have a one-to-one kind of a thing. So it's a little funny to me that I am contradicting myself with putting an anti-glare on this, but in my mind, I see what the picture is going to look like. So to me, it makes sense. Again, your mileage may vary. Maybe you want to get the crystal clear version. This is from Expert Shield, and I really like their products. They include 2 with every purchase because you will probably mess one up and get a lot of dust under it. It's very, very stressful to do this. You feel like, I'm going to date myself here, but you feel a little bit like Keanu Reeves in Speed, trying to defuse the bomb under the bus. It's stressful, but I've been really lucky where I'll either get it on the first try or I'll get it on the second try. Very rarely do I need to buy another set. And you know what? I don't follow any of the rules. They say to like go in a room with 0 barometric pressure and make sure you turn on the shower to get the steam to weigh the dust down. I don't do any of that stuff. I just put a little cleaning cloth over the back of the camera. I prep everything. I peel off that first layer and I wipe the camera off with the cleaning cloth, slap that bad boy down. It is stressful. I'm not going to lie to you guys, but I think it's really important. A lot of times I just throw this camera in my bag, either with nothing or I use a beanie as a camera case. So to me, it's important to protect the screen. I don't like scratches on my screen, and having the anti-glare really, really helps in sunny conditions. I think it's super nice. You don't see all the reflections off of it, especially if you're trying to shoot discreet. You don't see like a reflection of stuff behind you, or if you're looking down like waist level style, you don't just see your stupid face in the camera. It's just a lot easier for me. So I really like it. I think it's a great move. I will also say that the Expert Shield ones, I don't know if they have them on their website still. It was a little harder to find them on Amazon, but the XE4 and the XT4 is the same exact screen size as the X100V and X100VI. So I actually had an extra one of those from a previous camera and just used it for this. Another brand that's out there is the JJC stuff, but I don't have any experience with it, so I can't really recommend it, but I will include a link in case you guys want to check it out and take the chance. So last on the list is the soft shutter release button. So you might see these on YouTube, you might see people talk about them, and you might be wondering, do I really need that? Well, then you're someone like me who I had some friends tell me that I needed to try it out. And for years I ignored them. I thought it was just some like weird gimmicky little thing. And it wasn't even like I was being cheap. They're like 10 bucks, you know what I mean? But I just didn't see the need. But now that I've used it for so many years, I'm like, this is such a game changer. And I just feel like it just makes the whole shooting experience better. I can grab the camera, turn it on, and feel exactly where my finger needs to land, snap the shot, turn the camera off, and you don't even have to look for the button. But it is, let me show you guys this. So this is an X-T4, and you can see that the shutter button is very small. If you guys use Canon or Nikon, I feel like the shutter button's just bigger, or maybe it doesn't have the on-off switch right there. So I don't know. It just feels like a little bit more, what's the word? Like muted. I don't know. Maybe that's not the right word, but it just feels like there's a smaller surface area and there's not a big rate of travel. So it's not as much tactileness as I would like. So yeah, with this one, you got this nice little shutter release button there, and you just screw it right in and you're good to go. This one I particularly like because it has some knurling on it, so it kind of matches the look of the camera, and it actually has an O-ring that goes under it. So when you screw it in, it doesn't unwind as easily, but it still does. So my little trick for that is I've got this blue Loctite. This is semi-permanent glue, and I use this for my pocket knife stuff, and it looks insane because I just dip one screw in there and then move on, which is why it looks so crazy. But yeah, you just literally put a little crumb of blue on there. It's not gonna hurt anything. Do it at your own risk though. Don't take my word for it, but I've done it plenty of times. And if you ever need to take it out, you can take it out and it's not an issue. But this way, I've never lost one with the blue Loctite. Without the blue Loctite, you might grab your camera and go, where the hell's my shutter button? So just to wrap up, I just want to be super clear that you don't need to buy any of this stuff to enjoy your camera. You can literally take it out of the box, go shoot, have a great time, get some dope photos. However, for me, I really want to protect the lens, the sensor, and the LCD screen, non-negotiable, and all the other little creature comforts to me just add up to a better shooting experience. I don't have to worry about the camera getting banged up. I know that my finger's not going to hit any of the buttons and change my settings. I just want to take the camera out, get the shot, and put the camera back away and not think about the camera as much, if that makes sense. All of these items are in the description below. It's affiliate links, so it's no extra cost to you, but I do get a little kickback from old Jeff Bezos if you do end up buying some stuff, which I appreciate, helps the channel. And if you like these kind of videos, I'm gonna do some more soon. I'm gonna talk about the X100VI versus the X100V in another video, so keep your eyes out for that. Hope to see you guys in the next one. Peace out.